Brendon, thanks for joining us. A 2-1 series win. How do you reflect on the tour as a whole?
Great month and a bit. We turned up here and obviously, we had a tough series in Pakistan where we went down 2-1 and New Zealand had a brilliant series and India winning 3-0 and turned up knowing we were going to be in a contest right throughout and there was going to be small margins which separated the games, albeit maybe not on the score sheet, but we knew throughout games there's going to be a lot of times where it could oscillate between success and failure, and I think ultimately to sit here now at the end of the trip, winning the series 2-1 is immensely satisfying, but also the time that the guys have had in this country has been magnificent. It's been a great tour and one the guys have already talked about they will remember fondly forever. So job well done, I think, for the group over the last month or so.
And how pleased are you for your team to, you lost in India, bounce back in the summer, lost in Pakistan, bounce back here, have that bounce back ability and never give up really?
Yeah, and I think I'm hoping that's the culture you're trying to build within a group and the fun elements that we're unapologetic about and trying to ensure the guys have a good time when they're on the road is kind of based on knowing that there is going to be times of adversity whenever you're playing international cricket, especially when you're playing against the best teams on regular occasions. So you need to be able to have a good, calm dressing room, a camaraderie within the group, and a group that's actively listening to I guess messaging and allowing their talent to come out on the main stage. So it is important. It's nice that we've been able to do it. It'd be nice if we were front running the whole time, but that's not sport either. But ultimately we're happy with how the month's gone.
And what is it about the environment that you and Ben have created that you see Brendon come in and do so well, Jacob on his first tour here do so well and flourish? Look,
I don't know if it's what Ben and myself have created. I think it's the group as a whole. When you're trying to build an environment where you want young talent to come in and feel bulletproof when they arrive, and it needs everyone within the dressing room to feel that. And we're incredibly lucky. Whilst we've got a slightly younger group than we had a year or two ago, we've still got some, albeit young guys, they're senior players within the group, and they completely understand and fully supportive of what we're trying to achieve as a team. And I think that's what allows those young guys to come in, along with the fact that they're immensely talented. And it's great. That's all you really want when you're trying to put teams together, right, is you get that camaraderie and you get the mix of youth and experience and you see talent flourish.
And you saw Jamie Smith miss this tour for paternity leave, but the guy who's come in, Jacob Bethel's, sort of giving you a headache going forward by performing so well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a great problem to have, I think when you're always looking to try and keep finding world-class players that do give you those headaches, and so when you're sitting down doing your selection meetings, you're not scrambling around looking for players. You've got a huge talent pool to be able to pick from that you're very confident will perform. So it's great. Jacob Bethel's been outstanding. I feel like he's been in the team for 3 or 4 years for a young guy. He's immensely mature. He's well organised off the field as well, and then he allows his flair and his talent to come out on the field. So look, I think he's got a huge future, just as some of the other guys that we've introduced this year, including Jamie Smith.
How excited are you just looking at the bowling attack? You're missing a few names, but the likes of Brendon and Gus still perform well here.
Yeah, really exciting. Again, 2 guys that have been introduced this year have had breakout years in international cricket, and we've just got to make sure, I think we've seen throughout this series and over the last year or so, that it's trying to keep your best or your fastest and most devastating bowlers on the pitch as regularly as you can, and that's why having such a wide talent pool is going to be important for us. And whilst we've got a few on the sidelines at the moment through injury, they're not far away from coming back, and it's a good problem to have again. And if we're serious about competing with the best teams consistently, you need that talent on there to be able to go toe to toe. And Brendon has been very good, and Gus he's ticked off many an accolade this year. So it's a good place to be so far.
And you talk about playing the best teams next year, India and Australia. We saw Zak not have the series he would have liked here, but a proven track record against those teams. How do you get him back to the form he showed maybe last year?
Yeah, he has got a proven track record against both India and Australia, and from our point of view, Zak is one of those guys that he's immensely talented. We've seen it, he's done it against the very best in the world, which is not easy to do, and he's shown that he can handle the pressures of playing in those big series as well. And he knows he hasn't had the tour he wanted, but that's our job as coaches too. You're not always going to get people going out there and flying with the bat or the ball. There's going to be times where you've got to ride those blips out and still keep trying to give him the confidence to go out there and still play the game which he's picked to play and which gives him the most amount of satisfaction. And that'll be the messaging over the next little while. We don't play Test cricket again for another couple of months, so he'll give him a good chance to just refresh and then be able to get himself ready for the next one.
You look at what's to come in 2025, you taking over the white ball team as well. Excited for it?
Yeah, excited, right? Yeah, it'll be good fun. You know, I think in life you want to do stuff which has got a bit of meat on the bone, and when you're dealing with the talent and the opportunity that English cricket possesses, it gives you that sort of enthusiasm to really get out there and take it on. So really excited. Obviously it's going to be a little bit busier, but it's worth the bet, I reckon.
Just the final words on a person you know so well. You played with him so many times, ending his career here, in Tim Southee. Just a few words about Tim.
Yeah, look, he's an absolute champion. He's one of my best mates. He's a guy who I saw come in when he was 18 years of age, a young kid, cheeky kid, who was full of talent, and then he's going to leave the game as a husband, a father, an established and respected figure around the world. And you know, he's grown up on the international stage, which just shows, you know, how tough he is as a person. Clearly he's talented, but how tough and resilient he is as a person. And the beauty I find is that he's never changed his personality throughout. He's remained totally authentic to the young, kind of the humble farm boy from Whangarei, and you know, he plays the game or played the game in the right spirits and played for the right reasons, and hence why he'll leave the game with many friends around the world. And I look forward to sharing the next little while with him, and I'm sure his next chapter will be as great as his last.
Thanks for your time, well done.
Thank you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.